Alright, this is RueshTV doing a artifact weapon guide. Not really much of a guide other than just a showcase of the artifact weapon for all three mage specs. I made a video actually displaying the quest line, but I since then have removed it because there was spoilers in there. If you guys want me to actually put those in there, I have all three mage specs recorded, so I can easily just re-download those and splice together a mage artifact weapon quest line. I might just do that for the once, like a week before the release, or on the release, and I'll just throw that up there. But for right now, we're just going to discuss the artifact weapons. For now, we're going to look at the Fire Mage. Fire Mage, we have Fellow Milorn. It says the equipped will grant you the Phoenix Flames ability, which hurls destructive fire at nearby targets. The yellow text is not elven weapons, not when they are reforged with magic and hatred, and a burning need for revenge. No, Arthas. Fellow Milorn is stronger than ever, as I am. Kael'thas, Sunstrider. So this is his weapon, and you get the floating orbs above your head. That just indicates the number of Phoenix Flames you have available. The weapon itself is a nice looking sword. Silver handle. I guess that's a dark gray handle with gold hilt, and the rest of the blade on fire goes to charred black. And then the orb itself is just a black ball of fire on a golden stick. So it is fantastic, especially when you have the fire orbs floating above your head. And once you use one, I'll just throw it in the middle of here so it has some effect. You lose one of the orbs and it does area effect on the target. Alright, so it did all that damage. It did 200 and some K because of the AoE damage. It just kind of fell off because it has a dot behind it, or it leaves at least ignite on all the targets. CC, I have 2 orbs now because I used it, and then after a while, for 45 seconds to recharge. After 10 seconds, I'll have another one coming up here. Alright, and 3, 2, 1, and then there's the orb right there. So now I have 3, and just kind of orbits around me. So that is the Fire Mage artifact weapon. So I'll just fire them off now. 1, 2, and then 3. So it does crazy amount of damage. Not mad about the damage at all. Alright, next we're going to look at the Frost Mage weapon. It's pretty sweet looking staff with just floating crystals up at the top. It is called the Ebon Chill. Grants you Ebon Bolt ability, which deals massive shadow frost damage to a single target. Ebon Chill contains only a sliver of Elodie's might, but even that was more than most Magi could ever hope of wielding. So that's the yellow text. I talked about the Ebon Bolt. So a single target, and it has a 2.6 cast time with a 45-second cooldown. So most of the things have 45-second cooldowns. So if I use the Ebon Bolt here, it's a nice little cast time, and it just strikes the target for 384,000. So a pretty solid hit with that. And also, it looks fantastic. You wouldn't even need to transmog that weapon. It's just really cool looking. Plus, it has haste and mastery, so your 2 stats you want it to Frost Mage. Next up is the Arcane artifact weapon. It is called the Alunith. It grants you the Mark of Alunith ability, which places a rune on the ground that explodes for massive damage after a short delay. And the yellow text says, after many setbacks, Egwin finally bound the entity to an enchanted greatstaff. The task of containing Alunith was done, but it would take the Guardian years to truly harness its power. Alright, so back to a pretty nice long staff with this pinkish crystals on here that's held together in the middle by some arcane magic. And the ability that you get with this is the mark. If I can find it, it should be here. Yeah. It's in the general tab, which is confusing. So it's called the Mark of Alunith. Creates a rune on the target inflicting 161,000 arcane damage over 6 seconds, and then detonating for arcane damage equal to 15% of your maximum mana. So pretty ideal. So I'm going to cast it and throw it down right there on the target. I'm not going to use any abilities, so you just see what kind of damage is done after 6 seconds. So it detonates. I'm up to 328,000. So it's pretty intense amount of damage that is done with a 1 minute cooldown. You want to use that in your opening rotation and in burn phases. It'll just do crazy amount of damage. That's why intellect is going to be your highest stat priority to get more damage out of that. So those are the arcane weapons for you, the frost weapon and also the fire mage artifact weapon. So it's really up to you which you decide. If your playstyle suits one or the other, feel free. Mine's fire, always will be fire. Even when fire was terrible, I still made it work. So this is RueshTV. Thank you for watching.